Hey, good folks, Dr. Charli here. Welcome back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're here with me. Um, let's take our 3 deep breaths and go ahead and get started. So breathe in all the way into your belly like you're filling up a balloon. And release it. Great. I was thinking and hey, Ace, I see you. Um, Trying to determine what it was and how I wanted to share with you today. And what really keeps coming to mind is how I'm going to try not to ramble. So I'm going to try and bring it in and be a little more concise with the 50 million things that are actually going through my head. How our paths change and how our own representation of ourselves can change. I'm an expert in me. I'll use me as an example. For years, for the last decade, I have I have gotten up and driven across the country. I've driven across more than 2 states. I've driven across large parts of the country over 10 times. I think I'm at about 14 or 15 at this point. Often I was relocating. I went from Philadelphia all the way to San Francisco when I went to graduate school, and I've lived in a lot of places. I've lived in, I think, 7 of 10 in or near 7 of 10 of the major cities, of the top 10 US cities. And really how that has been a part of my identity. And I dare I say, of course, this is the forever internet, so you mark this point in time, but I'm wondering lately if I'm ready to stop driving across the country. Elders, I collect elders. So I'll adopt a parent or a grandparent, particularly women. So I'll adopt mothers and grandmothers everywhere I am. And one of my grandmothers said, I'm uncomfortable calling her by her first name, so we agreed on Gigi. And I was talking to Gigi. She's an adopted grandparent. And we were talking, and I was saying, and I'm, getting up and doing this trip and doing this thing. It is absolutely something I've become known for. It's a legit question. If I gave you my address 2 weeks ago and you're just now sending me whatever you're sending me and asking me if my address is the same, that is a very legitimate question. So I asked Gigi, I said, whatever we were saying, I was talking about leaving or getting ready to leave or wanting to leave or whatever it was. She said, you sure know how to leave, but do you know how to stay? I was like, oh, Gigi, my heart. So it's also about the different points in time where someone is calling me to task. Often it's not someone I know personally. Gigi, I do know, and I've been listening to a lot of Lisa Nichols lately. Lisa Nichols will whoop your behind. She will whoop your spiritual, mental, you need to get into action steps behind. And really attempting to or working through all of the ways that I navigate that, right? So if it's been such a part of my identity to move around, to not stay, to know how to leave, what does it mean for me to stay? What does it mean for me to be in a place? But that's psychological and spiritual and emotional too. For when I was about 11 or 12, I turned my emotions off. I said, this is for the birds. I'm not dealing with this thing. So I didn't cry for a long time. And then when I was about 19 or 20, I said, well, maybe there's something to these emotion things. And I like to say I've been turning them back on ever since. And that was a part of my identity too, because being strong, as a lot of maybe Black women know, women of color, yes, and Black women specifically, there's a specific kind of strong that in the United States, especially, that Black women have to be and have had to be. And I wore that fully. And so I wasn't showing emotion. I wasn't connected. I wasn't connected with my emotions at all. I talked about in a previous video how I got my master's in my own emotional awareness. It's called something else, but that's absolutely what it was. And I got my doctorate in how do I take that out, that emotional awareness, that sense of emotional awareness out into the world. And so what does it look like to transform your identity, to really and truly let go of those things that aren't serving you. And let me be very clear that that includes a lot of people. A lot of people, and people you were very close to. Everybody's not for every level. I understood that intellectually until I finished my doctorate, and then I understood it very viscerally, where everybody's on a different path, everybody's on a different journey, and that thing, reason, season, lifetime, is true. It's true that people really are. Most of the people that you encounter will be for a reason or a season, maybe a long season, but really connecting with yourself about who and what and how you spend your time and your energy and what that means for your identity and your sense of identity. And I'm the one who, what if that changes? What if that changed 10 years ago and you've been holding on to that for all this time? So really reflecting on all the different places I've been, and really, I mean that inside. Physically, yes, I've lived a lot of places. But psycho-emotionally, social, spiritually, I've been a lot of places also. And figuring out really, what do these next steps look like? Who is it that I want to present to the world? What aspects of myself? What does it mean to be standing fully in my brilliance? And what does it mean for you to be standing fully in your brilliance? I believe, and I truly believe, that we are all genius at something or some things. And we work in this life to figure out how to cultivate that genius. So that's really what my aim is to do, is how can we together figure out how to cultivate my genius? How do we do that? If you have thoughts, I'd love to hear them. You can comment, you can share feedback. I take feedback pretty well. I like it, actually. So I'll leave you with that for today. How do we cultivate our genius? How do we be the most brilliant version of ourselves, continuously living into the most brilliant aspects of ourselves? And how do we do that on a daily and continuous basis? All right, y'all, I am Dr. Charli, and I'm so glad you're here. I'll see you again soon. Take great care.